Hey everybody, it's Crypto Rich here. Today on the show, I'm going to be interviewing one of the most fantastic people in Birmingham, and he just happens to run a blockchain project, which is an accelerator, which is powered by banks. Now, Crypto Rich is here to fill your pockets with crypto.
Take the first step towards online privacy. Get NordVPN.
Got crypto? Got a hardware wallet to keep your crypto safe? Then you have to have one of these to keep your seed phrase safe. The Keystone tablet is fireproof, waterproof. You can use it to store 12-word, 18-word, 15-word, 24-word seed phrases. It comes with a full set of letters and everything you need to make sure that your seed phrase never gets destroyed or disappeared. Get one, get two, get three, have multiple copies. Use my affiliate link in the description below. All right, everybody. So I'm going to be talking to James Bull. He is the founder of Walc. WALC.io, a blockchain accelerator that's working with legacy banks. Now, before we start talking about it, he's got some very, very exciting updates about Walc. Please subscribe, follow me on Twitter, CryptoRichIT, join my official Telegram announcements channel. And if you're watching this on YouTube and even on Odyssey or Rumble, come over to bit.ly/CryptoRich3speak, bit.ly/CryptoRich3speak, because the online safety bill is now law. So we must be very, very careful so the government doesn't censor our private communications, James. But anyway, we're not going to be talking about that here, right? We're going to be talking about Walc. Now, I did interview you a few months ago, and you and I have been doing videos over many, many years together. Do you want to say in a nutshell what Walc is? And I'll have all the links in the description below. People can find out.
Yeah, I think firstly, check out the website, www.walc.io. There's a cracking video. It's 2.5 minutes. It does a fantastic job of telling you what Walc is. But in my simple terms, we are basically a blockchain accelerator. And what that means is we take funds and we help projects because we have a really experienced team. I've studied the market in terms of what works, what doesn't, and everybody in our team has 20+ years experience in different areas like marketing, CFO, accounts, whatever it may be. So we've got that very experienced team. And what we do is we try and gather projects together, and they utilize under one token, which is the Walc token. And what that does is allow collaboration between projects, where normally most projects, they've got their own coin, their own objectives, their own goals, and off they go in one direction. But what we're trying to do is bring people together, build more of a community, and actually help projects to thrive. Because the thing is, when people are out alone, they're like lone rangers and they can get shot down pretty quickly. But if you're in a big herd, it's pretty hard. And that's the sort of mentality. But what we want to do is to bring people to work together more collaboratively, and we'll definitely get more success. It's basically trying to not regulate as the government and everybody else is trying to do, but just trying to bring some structure and help projects, because there's some really fantastic people out there. I've heard some great ideas. It's just bringing them to life, really. And that's what we're doing. And then the bonus for us is the first project that we just happened to build is the real-time payment project, which is building an FX solution for the banks, the FX wholesale banks, which is a very profitable and very big project, which therefore Walc owns part of. Therefore, it gets some of the profits, and therefore we use those profits to fund projects. It's a bit like giving back in a sense, because the real first project was real-time payments. And then we just thought, well, that's going to make loads of money. So what do we do next? And actually, my YouTube channel, and you've known me for a long time, I just love helping people. I love getting involved. I love keeping my finger on the pulse. And this was a brilliant way of doing it, really. And at the same time, really leaves maybe a legacy in the space of, that I came in, I helped, try to move what I'm going to call to crypto to blockchain, because crypto can sometimes be a bit scammy and all the rest of it, where blockchain, it's commercial, all the big companies will use it, and try and help carry it across the line in that direction. And that's a short summary, shall we say.
Okay, now the first project is real-time payments as a project
Correct.
for banks in the UK, I imagine, for FX, which is foreign exchange. So just very quickly, what does that do?
Worldwide.
Oh, worldwide. Okay, so what does that
So
do?
yeah, when banks do trades with each other, they might say do a 200 million trade with each other, one for USD, one for euros, and they'll do that trade with each other. What happens is that particular trade takes 2, maybe even 3 days sometimes to do.
Mm.
We've basically got that down to 60 seconds. The reason we've got it down to 60 seconds is because, one, most of the team, bar me, are pretty much, they're in the banking world. That's what they do every day, all day, head of fintech and lots of different companies. So that's their job. And they've been able to figure out and speak to the head of FX, the head of the bank, the head of IT, to understand what the problems and the issues are, and then what the potential solution is. And then I suppose the cherry on the cake is like all of us, we've got a job. You know, if you're in sales, you've got KPIs to hit so many, sell so much stuff, or whatever it may be. It's the same with banks. You know, collateral, liquidity. There's a plethora of stuff. We will release a white paper on RTP very soon, so people can really understand. And we'll probably do a small video as well, so people can really understand it. But it's essentially a a cash cow, really. That's the long and short of it. It's a $6.6 trillion a day market, and we're going to shift the dial massively. And I keep looking at XRP, and people think I'm absolutely fucking crazy when I say this. When I believe that we're going to be up there, because the project is of that scale and size. The notoriety. The team are talking to Bank of England and all of the right people. They've got the doors open. They go and speak to them on a regular basis.
Mm.
That's how connected the team is. So they've got all the right people, all the right doors are open. And Tom, we're working with the Tom solution. We actually have part of the news today is actually that we have a meeting with them at the end of November to show them the solution. So Tom's solution is a trade order management system. So that's what sits in the banks and allows the banks to do the trading. Imagine it like iOS,
Mhm.
and Walc, or the real-time payment company, which it is, will just be like an app,
Right.
like iTunes or whatever it may be, that can API into that particular bank or whatever it may be. But there's only 550 banks across the world, and that's what we're aiming for.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Well, one of the things that I've been thinking about with regards to Walk is how come you're able to work with the banks? Because I had this notion that banks don't want blockchain. They don't want Bitcoin. They don't want.
So banks don't want tokenization, and blockchain and tokenization are two very different things. So when you look at tokenization, what you're going to do is you're going to take fiat to token, token to fiat when you do an FX trade. There is a boatload of risk. FCA don't like it, Bank of England don't like it. They just want less risk. If you're going to have a blockchain solution, it has to be less risk. With our solution, and I don't want to give away our secret sauce, we never touch the money, we never off ramp, on ramp. I can't give too much away, unfortunately, but the essence of what we do is we speed up processes where people are interjected and can slow the process down. That's about
Right.
as much as I can give away. But the way it works is very intuitive, and we're literally on the verge of finishing that POC.
Okay. Okay. The proof of concept. All right. But there is a token.
Mm.
And if I remember, it runs on the near protocol. So for people watching
Yep.
this video who are interested in crypto, there's got to be something like in it for me. When am I? When
Yeah.
when
So
when bus ticket?
yeah, not when moon anymore.
No, no, no,
We
no,
just
no,
keep
not
our
when a
feet on the
damn bus.
ground.
That's right. When bus ticket?
It's
Maybe like a London Underground travel card for a day.
So to give you a bit of an insight in terms of how much real-time payment will make, and the overheads are minimal. And when I say minimal, I mean 2 to 3 million on the lower end, and probably 7 to 8 million on the higher end in terms of running.
Mm.
At 0.2% of the market, which is next to nothing, we make $138 million a year.
Wow.
Our goal is 5% in 5 years. The team think we can get way beyond that and way quicker. And then you're talking into the billions. So this is pretty nuts in that sense. There's still lots of hurdles to get through, but the idea is then the profit that real-time payments make obviously Walc owns part of that, so we get some of that profits is given back to that company. And then 50% goes straight to projects. Okay, invest in this one, that one, etc., etc. 25% will go back to the original investors who obviously helped get us up and started, and then 25% will buy the token back. So you imagine you've got real cash from a real world business that's coming and buying back the token on a regular basis. Now, the sweet spot in this, and people say, yeah, but why is it different to maybe some others? The real-time payment company, because it's just a blockchain solution in the real world, it's not affected by the craziness of crypto, the
Mm.
ups, the downs, the bulls, the bears. It doesn't impact business. And if anything, that's on a tear. I mean, it was 6.6 trillion when we first started. It's now 7.2. You now imagine you can now trade in 60 seconds and you've got, I think it's about 8 times more liquidity. You can go and trade way more. That market could be 10, maybe 11 trillion a
Yeah.
day
And
very
you can
quickly
also
with that
front
solution.
run, front run your competitors, get the extra edge.
Exactly. Yeah, you will. And in that sense, all the banks will want it because they'll not want to be behind. It's like having emails and a courier pigeon. You're going to switch instantly. So it's a once one or two take it, that's it. It's game over really in that sense. You've
Okay.
got to have it, otherwise you're going to
If,
be
so
behind the market.
if people get the Walk token after having done their due diligence, and none of this is investment advice, they get the Walk token, and then what happens is
Mm,
the Walk company buys back some of the tokens using some of their profits, and they do so
correct.
on a regular interval, then the tokens that that any token holder holds will gain in value because supply is reduced.
Correct. So there's two metrics that we have, or two measures. So the first one is the profit and buying back the token, and
Mhm.
the other element is obviously when we're investing in different businesses, is that first of all it adds value to the token and the business, but it also brings in new revenues and new profits, which mean more money to buy back more tokens, more money to invest in more projects, and it's the scalability. It will start small, but it will build very, very quickly over a year or two period of time. So it's been well thought through in terms of, me and you have both been in this marketplace for a long time, and we've seen a lot of people get stung. I've seen people sell their houses and go into particular coins. I won't name people or whatever it is, but they've lost all of their house money. Um, One of those people work for me now, and I'm trying to rectify that for them. I didn't give them any of that advice, by the way.
Yeah.
I just seen it, and I just thought, you can't see that happen to someone, and especially a very good friend. You know their family, you know their kids and stuff, and you know how much they've suffered because they've had to move around a lot because it's just like, okay, need to do something about this and protect people to
Yeah.
some extent. So that was the
James,
idea.
James, just on that, that's a really important point, for this and any other project, or really any other investment, whether it's crypto or not crypto, you shouldn't invest any more than you can afford to lose. Don't do that. Don't do that. No
Mm,
matter how somebody comes along and says to you, it's an absolute sure thing. I've lost money in various projects. Some turned out to be scams, some turned out to be shams, but I never put in more than I was willing to lose. No, it was still painful. It was still painful. There was one
yeah,
project.
we've all got that t-shirt.
That's right. There was one project. I only put in a little bit of money, but at one point it was doing really, really well. It was worth 15 Bitcoin. 15 Bitcoin, James. Gone.
Wow.
They failed. The project failed. They ran out of funding.
Wow. And do you know what? That's part of Walk. When
Yeah.
we take a project on, we fund you from start to finish. So you don't have these issues of going halfway and then running out of money because the VC's gone bankrupt or whatever it may be. And that's the key to having some brick and mortar businesses, if you will, running on blockchain outside of the space. And I got some exciting news on another business that we are close to closing a deal on, and that'd be quite big as well.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
which I might
Okay.
might allude to a little bit later in the video.
Uh,
So, but
I,
yeah,
I'll have all the links in the description below. People can go join the Telegram and follow on Twitter and look at the website and everything, right? So if, if people wanted to get involved, like they wanted to get tokens, when are you launching them and how can they get them? And I imagine there's KYC because banks are involved.
No, so the real-time payment company is separate to
Right.
Walc. Walc is like an overriding
Yes.
entity, and then it owns pieces of different businesses. So what we'll start doing once we do the raise is actually start recruiting some projects into the Walc family, shall we say, um, and work with them to build their products, and then they'll adopt and they'll have to build on near. They adopt our token, they'll get funding. Once they get through the funding stage and go to launch, that's when they get their tokens. And the reason for that is so you don't have bad actors. So if you do spend 20, 30 grand on a project and they sort of all disappear or whatever, you've only lost 30 grand versus a boatload of tokens that are in the market which you can't control. So
Yeah.
we'll only give projects their tokens once they launch, and then that's drip fed to them so they just don't dump as well. So every element of what we're doing has been in mind of trying to, one, protect the integrity of the price of the token. So
Mhm.
there's never an opportunity for people to dump. And the same with the investors. So we did a sort of pre-ICO family and friends. They're all locked up for 1 year, so they can't do anything. So when we go to launch on the 31st of October on Bitmart, there
Mhm.
are no tokens in the marketplace. Zero tokens. So there is no dumping. There are only buyers. So if you're first in, you're going to get the cheapest price. We're going to put a wall in at 3 cents. Once that wall's gone, it's gone, and it's off and it's trading and it's doing its thing. Everything that we're doing with Walk is just all new concepts, new ideas, and trying to revolutionize and freshen up the space, because it was so dull and so boring, and everybody was just doing the same old thing. So
Yeah.
we've just put a new spin on it.
Okay. So the token launches on Bitmart on the 31st of October, and we're recording this on the 26th of October, Thursday. So this will go out before then. And there are no tokens for any of the team or any investors or any other projects that are allied to this to dump. So people can just buy
Nope.
the tokens. And is there a floor of 3 cents? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So they can't get lower than 3 cents.
No. Well, unless people decide to sell their 3 cents for 2 cents, which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
So
that wouldn't make any
um
sense.
and the idea or concept behind that was build in the bear market,
Mhm.
because we've done a lot of deals and we've got a lot of things very cheaply, hence why we've not really had to sell as many tokens as we needed to, or raise as much as we had to. um I mean, I'll be honest, we've spent everything getting it to this point now, but that's fine. We've triggered some grant payments and things like that now we finished the POC. So there's some more money coming back in, but the idea is that we really protect people. I didn't want people to come in like new investors. I don't know them. They could be living in America somewhere in in their farm, polishing their guns or whatever it may be. I don't know who they are, but at the same time, I don't want to see people get fucked over like they so many times. You see the old people getting cheap. If you knew Bob Dave or whatever, and you got in early, you got the cheap tokens, you waited it for it to go up a bit, and then you just smashed the market, dump the tokens, price completely falls away, and then you're just like, okay, some people, 10% of people won and they're laughing, and then the other 90% are licking their wounds. Where this way, we don't have that. There's no dumping. The hopefully the bull market will kick in, the halvening, and that gives plenty of time for one, the price to establish itself, so we know where it really sits.
Mm.
Um, Also gives us time to release some good news to push that price up, and also build a community around it, so it creates stability and also the liquidity. So when our other investors are able to release, there's 5 billion tokens. The investors only hold 5 million tokens.
Oh, that's
So
nothing.
they have a tiny fraction. So even when they release, it's going to be a very small dent in the price. And even then, I don't think all of them will sell at the same time. So you can sort of see the thinking that's gone into it to really to just change the game a little bit, because I think people are getting bored of the same old stuff.
Well, people get bored in the bear market anyway. But that looks like it's
Yeah.
changing given where Bitcoin has, what was it, pumped up 20% in the last week. We like that.
Yeah.
We like
I,
that.
I I was liking it. I was liking it. It's my portfolio is looking nice and rosy now. I nearly dumped in quite a bit of money the other day actually, because my tipping point is near. I use near as my steering point, and anytime it drops below a dollar, I mean that's my sweet spot to buy. So
Right. Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Well, we're gonna have an
my
altcoin
metrics.
market soon, altcoin market at some point soon. So now people got to have
Mm.
near because these tokens run on the near blockchain.
Yeah, so that's actually caused a few challenges. So when you go and you look at different exchanges, so for instance, like a DEX or something like that, you can't just put a near token on unless it's a near based DEX. You then have to wrap tokens and you have to do lots of different things. So there were some challenges that we didn't sorry, there was some challenges that we just didn't perceive, I suppose.
Mm,
When we were building real-time payments, it ticked every single box that we needed it to, and therefore we just thought, yeah, that'll be fine for Walk, and it has to be to some extent. We've been working with Bitmart, and they've been absolutely brilliant,
mm,
helping us, guiding us, you know, given us more than what we really should have had in an essence. But yeah, they've just been great. I mean, there was another exchange we were talking to and working with, and they were just rogue is the only
right.
word I will use. I will tell you later, Rich. I don't know if we should name and shame
No.
on this.
No.
No, it's not name and shame, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, if and again, if and one of the other things that we're looking to do as well is we're doing roadshows. So we're doing live roadshows. So where people, who's the CEO of Pepe Coin and all this sort of stuff. Like, I have no idea. They don't show their faces. They don't go out. We're actually going to go and do roadshows. We're going to be live. People can come meet us. You come and ask us questions. If you've got a project, come and pitch to us,
Mm,
and we're going to get out there. Not we'll start in the UK and we'll sort of go further afield after that. But we really want to be present and have that interaction with the community, because again, I think that's missing. Everyone's just online, and I know it's easier, and it's especially through COVID, people have moved to online a lot more. But I think you never replace a
yeah.
face to face, having a beer with someone, having a chat about blockchain. You can't replace that.
Yeah.
No online will ever do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. And if people can find out about these live events through the website, I take it.
Yeah, so we haven't got any planned at the moment, but when we do, they'll go on the website. And
And
I
Twitter.
think at first we started off charging for tickets, and we just thought, oh, sod it, we just be free.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and we'll suck it up. We'll find the costs back somewhere else later on,
Okay.
and stuff. And the other thing that we want to do is run workshops and help people, because obviously we've gone through the pain of building a blockchain company, and I'm
Mm,
sure there's plenty of people out here that have got great ideas and go, where the hell do I start in building a blockchain company? And we have all the information, we have all the contacts. Want to get on exchange? We've got 25 exchanges you can go on tomorrow. uh, you know we've built this contacts. Where do you host your company? Where do you get regulated? All of this, some massive questions, and some of those questions have cost a lot of money to find out. But this is where we'll do a course and help people. Obviously, we'll have to charge for that because we have to rent places, and I'm gonna have to bring people in and all the rest of it. But I think it would add a lot of value to people to be able to understand, especially if they want to build their own projects. Because obviously, we're going to build on there, and we'll anyone who wants to build on there, come in. Open arms. If you've decided you want to build on Polygon or Ethereum, fine. Just maybe come and do the course, find out how you you can start your own blockchain. Because the thing is, in this space, a lot of people don't want to give away their secret sauce,
mm,
and by not giving away the secret sauce or passing the baton on, because once we're built and we're massive, there's no incentive for us to keep those secrets. Share. That's the way the space is going to grow. You've got
yeah.
to share that information
Yeah.
and help people. And then, I don't know. I'm just thinking into the future. I might help a project, and they find that great value. And then in 2, 3 years' time, I need help on something, and they go, "Oh, we've got the answer.
Well,
I'll come and help you, mate. Don't worry about it." You
Well,
know.
James, just on that, that is how this space has grown because Bitcoin's open source. People can read the code. And from that, Litecoin got forked. And from Litecoin, I think Feathercoin got forked. Remember Feathercoin? Lord knows where it is now. But also Zcash got
Blew
forked
away.
and Zen and Pirate Chain and Komodo, and those are all open source projects. So it just grows and grows and grows as people build on that technology. So I think, and it also makes sense in as much as you want to bring projects in and you want to find good projects. Well, I think this is one way of, it's really good marketing as well. Gives you a good reputation. Now, how will you
Yeah, and
find projects?
I mean, I'm in a group now with 2,500 people that are going to NearCon, and they're all developers.
Wow.
That's the starting point. And
Oh my
then as
God.
we build the brand out, people will know who we are. I'm going to be very present, especially when I can leave work and do this full time because I'm still working as well as the rest of the team. And I suppose that leads on to another bit of the news is we are in talks with some pretty big VCs, heavy hitters that have just can't tell you why we were struggling for a long time. I
Yeah.
think because of the bear market, everybody was had their hands in their pockets, and all of a sudden the change is starting to come out. And yeah, we got a lot of meetings with a lot of VCs. Near have been absolutely brilliant in supporting us and helping us with some social stuff, helping us and another bit of news I suppose. So if anybody is going to NearCon, come and say hello. On the 9th we'll be on the ecosystem stage, so we've got our a pod for half a day. So come and say hello, learn about the project, ask questions, have a beer. More than likely, um, we're always having a beer. So yeah, so it'd be a great opportunity for people to come and meet us and say hello.
Yes, yes, and I have covered Near in the past. You and I did a short video about Near where you explained to me. It's
Mm,
fully decentralized, open source, really fast, EVM, Ethereum virtual machine compatible, programmable, very low
mm.
transaction fees, and it's got a growing ecosystem of projects. That much.
Yeah, and if you look at if you look at the data, you can see people moving from Ethereum and other projects to Near to build. My prediction, and this is why we picked Near will be bigger than Ethereum, 100%.
Interesting.
Is my personal opinion,
Right.
because they're so far ahead. I think they internally, from what I've seen, they need to really organize and structure themselves. They're halfway there. They need the other bit as from a corporate mindset in terms of all the stuff that I do at work and things. They still got a way to go, but I can see so much progress that if you look at all the issues with Ethereum right now, and then Near that doesn't have any of them. They're off and running,
Yep.
and it's Ethereum that's going to have to catch them. And all like Tesco's and Sainsbury's.
Mhm.
Sainsbury's was the massive giant, and everyone's like, no one can overtake Sainsbury's. And then Tesco's come out of nowhere, and then they were the daddies. And now it's even harder for them to do it. And everyone's like, oh, no one will ever overtake Tesco's. And now Aldi is coming in and stealing so much share. And they're up there. Like Aldi was like a nobody, and
Yep.
now it's the number 4 supermarket in the UK.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Now, for those
Back to the
watching,
day there, Richie.
for those watching, right, you may not know, James works in the retail sector. Plus, also what we're talking about are British supermarket chains for those watching us in the US and elsewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else you want to let us know? Any more updates and stuff?
Yeah, so there's a little list here that I've got that I made
Oh my
specially for
God.
you, Rich. So
All
just to
right.
reiterate, we're going to be launching on Bitmart on the 31st of October. It's going to be 9 a.m. UTC. We're going to launch at 3 cents. And like I said before, there's no other tokens in the market. We're going to put a wall in. And once that wall's gone, it's gone, and people are off trading, and that's it. So, and then over a period of time, there'll be little small leaks of tokens just to keep the liquidity in the market and stuff like that. But no one's allowed to dump, not for 1 year. So, and I own all the wallets, so I have all the keys, everything. So nobody has access to it. So that that will be regimented in the sense. But when the dump's going to be, when there is one, it's going to be the 1st of November when people in 2024. So
Right.
when it is, avoid it. The information's out there already. Um, we're going to be at NearCon. So on the 9th, we'll be on the eco stage. We'll be doing just talks and talking about what we're doing. We've also
Now,
got a
hold
lot of
on.
meetings
That's the
there with
9th of November at NearCon. Where is that?
Oh yes, sorry, Lisbon in Portugal.
Lisbon, Portugal. Okay, and I have the link to that in the description below. So if you want to check that
Yeah,
out and go yourself.
it's
Okay.
an absolute hoot, Rich. You're gonna have to come with me next year. We'll bring you. Um, it's brilliant. Like last year, I met this guy, and he was a trader, and he also designed the new Range Rover or Land Rover that's out there now. And oh mate, he was brilliant. Me and him just got on it every day. We had such a laugh, and he was so knowledgeable. We just we geeked out big time. The other one is while we're at NearCon, we're going to launch on VEAX, which is a DEX exchange, which is based on the Near protocol. So that's just makes it easy for people to connect their Near wallets with the Walc tokens, and they can trade there. We're going to put liquidity in there as well. There's also we're going to be on the live international blockchain show, which is one of the biggest Twitter Spaces shows on Twitter, basically, with Mario Nawal, I think his name is. That's going to be on the 1st of November at 4 p.m. They get roughly around about 6 million listeners to every show.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
the yeah, it's big, it's massive, but we got there through a whole bunch of failures because we tried to do Facebook and Instagram and they banned our accounts. Then I tried to push stuff on YouTube and pay for it. And eventually they caught up with me and banned that. And then we just then, okay, where else can we go? And then we ended up on Twitter Spaces. So we looked at like getting a Twitter person in to do all the media and stuff. And then Lindsay sort of said, I'll do it. Don't worry about it. And then we just spent all the money on the Twitter show. So I
And
think
that's
I think that's
great.
going to
That's
be good. It's
going
going to
well.
drive a lot of volume.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You might
Yeah.
also want to maybe check out 3speak.tv, which is fully decentralized, fully open source, no company or project behind it. If you want to censor it, there's nobody to go to ask for stuff to be censored, unlike Rumble and YouTube and Odyssey,
Mm,
which do have companies behind them. Plus, also you get to earn Hive, which is a fork of Steam. So anyway,
okay.
sport but growing
Interesting.
capital. Go on.
We've got the RTP proof of concept. Excuse us, Rich. I seem to have caught the cold from somewhere. So the RTP POC will be finished at the end of this month. And then we have meetings with a Tom solution and banks at the end of November. And potentially we may have some in Zurich as well that we need to fly out to. So there's a few bits there. I'm also finalizing a deal where we will bring in a second business into the Walc family, if you will. And that will sit outside of the crypto world. And the reason for that is just to give us a little bit more stability and a little bit more diversity. And that is going to be a rum brand, which is the face of it, which is a good friend of mine. He is a UFC champion.
Right.
So think of Conor McGregor and his brand. We're doing the same. I just happen to have all the contacts to be able to execute that because of what I do.
Okay.
And that's been bubbling away for about 3 years. And now he's the UFC or has been the UFC champ for a little while. Everybody's just going nuts for it. So that's going to also take a bit of my time up, but it gives us another anchored business outside of crypto. And this is the key thing, Rich. When the shit hits the fan and we
Mhm.
go back into the bear market and some of the VCs disappear again, or some haven't weathered the storm as well as they should have, we're just going to have pure cash to keep pumping in. And
Mm.
we're going to take advantage of that. So where projects are going, oh, we're going to fail. We go, no, you're not. Come under Walc. Swap
Yeah.
your tokens, come in, join the family. And we've got a massive war chest. Like the reason we've got 5 billion tokens is because most of that is to give to projects. So they've all got their own tokens and they've all got the same thing to go after in the ecosystem. So hence the large number. I just want to shout out to Near and David Norris in particular. He's been absolutely fantastic over at the Near Foundation in helping us and pointing us in the right direction, join us with all the right people. He's been absolutely brilliant. And then we've been working with a team called Savvy Social. I'll be honest, for the first 4 or 5 months, they were rubbish. They didn't do anything. We didn't pay them that much. We paid them about £5,000 to go find us some investors. However, over the last sort of month, they have earned their money big time. So we've got a lot of investors at the table at the moment, and obviously, a potential sports superstar as well. So there's a lot going on.
Mhm.
As you can imagine, I've been working some long hours and so is the rest of the
You look
team.
like you need some sleep,
I,
Jay.
mate, I tell you.
You still got
Um,
you're doing this. And how long have you been working on this project?
2 years.
Right. Yeah, you need to get some sleep.
Yeah, but it's a passion. It's like, if people ever ask me why have you done the project, it's because, I'm not bothered by money or anything like that. I mean, I walk around in a 14.99 rock t-shirt. I'm happy. I'm happy as big and shit like that. I don't need Rolexes and Lamborghinis and stuff like that. It doesn't motivate me. My big motivation is just spending more time with my son
Yeah.
and being able to leave a legacy in the space of doing something great that he's proud of. And that's why I do it.
Yeah.
Bit old school, you know, I don't do it for all the other bits and pieces because it doesn't really bother me. It never has done, to be honest. So it is
Okay.
what it is,
I
I
got it.
suppose.
I got it. Okay. All right. Very good. Anything else you want to let us know?
Just mate, just thank you for all the support over the years, and especially quite recently, because I think when you do these sorts of things, you find out who your friends are and who's supporting you. And there's a boatload of projects I helped early on,
Mhm.
like Daniele from Amon and stuff like that. Those guys have been, because I used to help them, and I just helped them because I wanted to get involved in the space and learn and stuff. And then when I did my project, they've all come and helped me. I can pick up the phone anytime. They're like busy mates now. It's brilliant. And I think that's what I really love about the space.
Yes, no, that is fabulous. The relationships they get built up over time. That is really, really great. Okay. Well, James, it's been
Yeah.
a delight to have you on, right? I mean, you and I are going to chat briefly after we stop recording. So please do come back on again and keep us updated on how this is going. And for anybody who's watching, do check out the website, do your own due diligence. October the 31st, 9 a.m. UTC. And between now and when I see you next, please keep filling your pockets with James.
Crypto. Near. Walk. Walk.
All right. This all, all the best. Bye from Crypto and from Crypto James. Bye bye.